My coach said to me, get surgery or quit boxing. Let me tell you about the time I tore my meniscus, part one. It's dating back to April of 2025, and I was getting ready for the National Amateur Championships. It's one of the most prestigious boxing titles you can win as a British amateur boxer, and I've won it 3 times in a row from 2023 to 2025. And so I had not long moved to the coast and was training over at the Heart of Portsmouth with Q, Stu, Dave, a few other coaches. And one of the things we would do in the morning was our runs. Okay, so we'd either go down to Hot Walls or to Castlefields. Hot Walls was quite difficult because we'd be running on the beach, and it's a pebble beach, so you can imagine every stride you're sinking. But it was really good for fitness, really good for, just building that stamina. And it was a good workout. But anyway, I'm training, and we had sparring on a Tuesday. My coach down at HOP, he decided that what he's going to do is put me in with a bunch of southpaws because we knew that my opponent was a left-handed boxer. We had about 5 or 6 rounds. It was round robin style, so I stayed in, and every round a new boxer came in. And I think I did about 5 or 6 rounds, and the second to last round I was sparring with one of the young lads, Alfie, and I went to throw a 2, and I felt the most excruciating pain in the knee. If you know, you know, boxers need saving from their self at times. And I didn't want to stop, so I pushed through, got to the end of the round, then Jasmine came in and we finished the spar. After that I said, nah, something don't feel right. And I said to my coach, listen, I'm going to call it a day and head home. And I think what I ended up doing, I think I was able to drive to my fiance's house that night. And I was telling her, no, something don't feel right. I was finding it difficult to walk. I was hobbling. And she was like, listen, just rest it. We're going to ice it. You're going to elevate it. Take some painkillers and we'll see how you go. But yeah, the pain weren't going away. And I had the most uncomfortable sleep. I was in so much pain, I actually had to call in sick to work. And if you know me, I don't call in sick for no reason. My knee's blown up like a balloon at this point. I'm thinking, rah, it's gonna go down. Let's give it a couple weeks or so. I was managing the pain with a compression sock, with painkillers, and just trying to not move so much. But the girl was still limping, was in a lot of pain. And the maddest thing was, I tore it the week of the Nationals. Can you imagine? So Wednesday was off work. Thursday, my dad came down to visit with his wife. So I was moving around a bit, trying to be a good host. But I probably should have been a bit more static. And then on the Friday, Coach Q came and picked me up and we drove all the way to Derby, I believe it was. And I fought at the stadium there the following day. It was a bit touch and go because I wasn't sure how I'd perform. I knew that I was in a lot of pain and I thought this is something that could potentially work against me. But I thought, no, we've done all this training now. We're just going to give it our best shot and whatever happens, happens. So anyway, we've drove up, me, Q and Stu. I call him Stu Peas. So we've drove up. He's dropped me off at the hotel. We were staying at the hotel, but different rooms, obviously. And then the following day, Stu's taken me to weigh-in. I've come to weigh-in with like a compression sock. And, I've spoken to the nurse because when you go to weigh-in for, pre-bout, you have to have a medical check. So doctors will expect you to bring your mouth guard. they'll expect you to bring um they'll expect you to weigh in. I'm not really sure what else they expect you to bring. Maybe like your um I think they call it the BCR1, but it's all digital now. So, you don't have to worry about, oh, I've left it at home or whatever. Everything's just on the phone, everything's digital, you're good. Anyway, so I've come with the compression sock and she's like, oh, what's happened? And I said, I don't know. Like, I injured it in sparring and it's a little bit sore. And she did a couple tests to see if I was fit enough to box, to be honest. And they do breathing tests as well. They check your breathing as well. And they might ask you to do one or two things just to make sure you're good to go. Anyway, so she's asked me to do I think it was like a squat of flipping at the pain. But I just firmed it because I was like, ain't no way she's telling me I'm not going to be able to fight. Like, no, there's just no way. So anyway, she was happy to give me the go ahead. And a good thing I brought the compression sock, because she said if I had got into the ring without informing them prior, then that's a automatic disqualification. Big tip there, guys. If you do have an injury, make sure you disclose this. If it's going to be an injury that is essentially putting you in a position where you need to wear a brace or something to support it, then you have to let the medical doctor know so that they can green light it, basically. So anyway, I'm limping. We get the fight over and done with. I win the bout, thankfully. I think it was a 4-1 unanimous decision against Amber Muggleton. Big up her, good opponent. I had to push through as much as I could because I was in a lot of pain. We got the result, so it was worth the risk, basically. The risk paid off. We've come back down to South the following day, and I had the England boxing assessments coming up because they usually take place around May of every year. I've told them I can't do the 1K time run because I'm still in a lot of pain, and I ended up sparring with Amber Muggleton, the same girl who I'd fought at the Nationals. And after I come out of the ring, I'm limping, and Amanda said, what's wrong with your knee? I said, I don't know, I'm in a lot of pain. So she sent me to see the physio, Tash. Tash just had a look at it and she said, I think you've torn your meniscus. I was like, what's a meniscus? So she explained it to me. Yeah, she knows what she's talking about. That girl was worth her weight in gold. Anyway, so we got a couple more opinions and everyone was in agreement with each other. So we had to do a lot of rehabbing, basically. And it was just the wrong timing because I had Worlds coming up in September. So I got the official diagnosis from the doctor in around about, I think, June or July. And they gave me a cortisol injection to help with the inflammation and give me some pain relief. And so off the back of that, we had to get back in training to prepare for the Worlds. And yeah, that was another story in itself. That's a little bit more insight as to why my coach said, get surgery or quit boxing. So I spent a lot of time just rehabbing the knee and managing the injury. So we didn't have the best camp, but honestly, I want to big up the whole team. Everyone put their best foot forward and tried their best to put me in the best possible position to compete at the Worlds. That was such a big opportunity in itself. I was able to compete and represent my country, but unfortunately I didn't make it past the prelim stage. I was beat on a 3-2 split by New Zealand, someone I've also fought at the Haringey Box Cup. So I was really hoping to bag this win. I was absolutely devastated. We just didn't have a great camp. I couldn't do any running. I was trying to do swimming. We was focusing on strength and conditioning. I couldn't even spar. So it was difficult. I think maybe a week or two prior to us going to Liverpool, I was able to get some rounds in with Poland and Kazakhstan. But it just wasn't the camp that it needed to be for such a prestigious tournament. For some people, the Worlds are a lot more difficult than the Olympics. And for people like me, who's a plus 81 boxer, the Worlds are my Olympics. So you can imagine how devastated I was. I didn't even medal. And it was a bitter pill to swallow. It's something that I've had to find peace in, something that I've had to reflect on, and something that I've had to accept. This is boxing. You're not always going to win. It just might not be your night. You might get beat by the better boxer. There's all sorts of things, but it's all about what you can take from it, whether you've won or lost. And I think when you lose, sometimes that's what pushes you to be an even better boxer. I don't have a squeaky clean record, but I always know that there's room for improvement. And there are so many different factors that can have an impact on the way you perform on the night. But as long as you've tried your best, that's all you can do. Have such a great support system, and I know everyone was trying their best to get me there. And I think that is the beauty of it all. And what an experience. We were out there for a couple of weeks. It was me and three other teammates from England, Reese, Emily, and MK. And our head coach, Amanda Coulson, took us out there along with Dave Johnson. He's one of my coaches from Heart of Portsmouth. And what an experience, you know. It's something that will stay with me forever, and something that I'll always find the beauty in. I remember doing a post-bout interview with Nabila, the comms manager at England, and I was just devoed. Like, I was even in a state of like, I don't know, like I just felt like I wasn't even there. And I just couldn't believe it really. But, you know, boxing is one of them things that can bring you so much joy, but so much pain at the same time. It's mad. It's like a toxic girlfriend. I remember having a conversation with Amanda post bout, and, you know, she gave me the proposition. And she basically said, listen, it wasn't the performance we wanted. There's things we can work on. And essentially what I want you to do is get the surgery, because you've got two options here. You either get the surgery or forget boxing. So guess what I did? So make sure you check out the next video to find out why my England coach bans me from boxing.